What's going on, guys? This is our new podcast. We call it the Glassmates 173. My name is Flo. We have Gigi in the house. We have Patricio also in the house. We hope you guys like it. So, how's it going, guys?
Well, it's going. This weekend is just going so fast. I would like it to last a little bit longer.
It's going pretty good. I guess this week has been pretty fast. I don't know where the weekend ended, but it was good.
Right, and you know something? Well, hello everyone. I am Gigi, so every time you listen to this voice, it's gonna be Gigi talking.
And Patricio. Every time you hear me, it's Patricio on this side. And hope you are doing all well. How is your classes going on though?
The semester has been good. I've decided to discipline myself, going on a diet and working hard academic wise. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. I feel like a better person. And I think that's what life is about.
That's good.
We need to be on discipline. About you guys?
Well, for me, this is a life-changing semester. I gotta get some really tough decisions. Like I applied to some PhDs, and I am just anticipating to stay for more years because I really want to stay for studies. But I also want to work, so I am in between these two offers, maybe a PhD or maybe a job. So this is how this semester has been for me, a lot of work, but I also feel good with myself. How about you, Patricio?
For me, it has been good. I guess this is my fourth semester in Kent, and after this, I'm gonna be a junior. So more, focuses on career. I guess probably, and from next semester, finding internships and jobs. But for now, I have like a good job at food service and DI hub, so it's going good, I guess. And yeah, we're just listening and chilling on the side. Well. So why did you choose Kent State though?
All right, well, this was just a couple of seconds of awkward silence because we're really gonna process this question.
There were so many good reasons to go with Kent State. Out of the many universities, I would really suggest Kent State. The people are so, welcoming, and it's a good institution overall. So far in these past 3 years, I've had good experience in this university, and I'm glad I chose it. What about you?
In my case, it was a little bit different. I applied to this super US scholarship, and I got an advisor that recommended me 4 institutions, and one of them was Kent State. At the beginning, I didn't know. I knew nothing about it, and then I researched it, and it turned to be my second choice. But I don't know, that year in December 2018, I had a Skype meeting with my current advisor, and he really convinced me that this was going to be the best place. So that's how I chose it.
Oh. For me, I have applied to like 4 universities to be honest, and I think Kent State was a better option among all of them. To be honest, I won't say I hate summer, but I love winter and I'm more comfortable in winter. That's why I was probably guessing to go somewhere in the north for the universities, because in India it's too summer and too hot and I can't bear it. For me, it's cold is pretty good, so that's why I think I chose Kent State, to be honest.
Right. And what do you think if we give our audience a little bit more context about who we are?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point Gigi brings up. So here's a little introduction about ourselves. My name is Flo, but my real name is Aprameya, and I'm from India, the southern part, from the state of Karnataka. I hail from Bangalore, and yeah, I came here 3 years ago to the United States, and so far I've been having a good time. I certainly had certain cultural shocks when I first moved to the United States. The first one would be that when people talk to elders, they don't call them uncle or auntie here. But back in India, we usually call them uncle or auntie.
That's so true.
And the places seem to be widespread. The houses, in India, it's kind of compact. So yeah, there were certain differences. but I'm getting used to it slowly but surely. So yeah. What about you, Gigi?
Well, this is Gigi. Gigi is the abbreviation for Gajendra Gupta, which are two Indian names. The fun fact is that I am not from India, but I have two Indian roommates, and I think I have voluntarily immersed myself a bit into the culture, and I just fostered these two names. My real name is Gustavo, though, and I am from Panama. I was born in Mexico, but I grew up in Panama, and I feel like I am kind of from a lot of places, as I have lived in different places around the world, and I have quite of a knowledge about several cultures. So that's me.
And so, as you know, my name is Patricio, but my real name is Pranav Asawa. This is the name given by me from Gigi, as you know, Gustavo, aka Gustavo. And I'm from India as well. I'm from the west part of India, probably near the sea coast. And coming to US has been same as what Flo said. It has been a cultural shock. There are a lot of differences while you live in US. It's like I think so. I would say 180-degree cultural shock. It is totally different from what I was born and raised in. And I think so. I'm adjusting to it after 2 years, and it's going pretty well, I guess. But once I get back to India, I have to again get back in the Indian culture. Let's say it goes good.
You just touched a very important topic, Pranav, and and I have this question maybe for the three of us. Like, what do you think you have changed while studying in the U.S.? Like, what part of yourself, your values, your beliefs have changed?
That's a good question, Gigi. I would say I've become a lot independent when I moved to the United States. I learned how to cook on my own and do my own laundry, dishes and stuff. All these years I was depending on someone to do it. And now I have to wake up and do all the things by myself. And I think it's a good thing, you know. Sooner or later, all of us will have to step into the adult life. And I think it's one of the biggest lessons that US has taught me, to be self-reliant and independent. I think it's certainly going to come in handy. As far as academics is concerned, I've definitely started taking it more seriously than I would in India. So yeah, there's that. What about you guys?
I just forgot the question. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, like what things about yourself you think have changed studying in the U.S.?
So as Flo said, I think so. I'll truly agree with that. Like US has taught me to be totally independent. I never used to cook. I never used to clean or anything. But coming here, like vacuuming your room, everything, cleaning your dishes, cooking for yourself, and becoming self-independent is what US has taught me more. No one will be there for you. You will always be there for yourself, and you have to do what you have to do for yourself. I think so. That's one of the biggest thing that US has taught me. And in terms of stepping out, I think so. It would be stepping out of my comfort zone. I would say because in India I was like more, because I was born and raised there for 18 years, and after that it has been like the same friends, same people I'm interacting with. But coming to US, I knew no one, and you have to start from zero. But that was a good experience. But back then I was pretty worried about it, whether I would be able to cope up with everything. But I think so right now I'm learning a lot of stuff, how to make new contacts, how to maintain those relationship out there, and how to interact with people, how to organize stuff. And it has been pretty good. And in terms of academic, it's the same. I wasn't that serious in India. But coming to US, it made me really realize that I wouldn't say I have to do good, but I will say I have to put my 100% and wait for the result. If you put your 100%, the result would be pretty good, I guess. And I guess that's it. Yeah.
Well, I want to echo something that you said, and it's stepping out of my comfort zone.
Exactly.
I think that's a great point you made, and I can also identify with that. However, for me, has been a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
I think the U.S. has taught me more cultures than the one I was familiarized with. I lived 1 year with a guy from Saudi Arabia, and now, well, I'm living with you both, two people
Yeah.
from India, and it has been a lot of learning experiences. We come from very different backgrounds.
Different
We have
backgrounds.
a lot of similarities, though, but the different things are really interesting. However, I feel that in my time in the U.S., I have found the time to have more meaningful relationships
Uh-huh.
as I was very focused in my work, in my career before I was coming. But here, because of the pandemic, I also made some time to have relationships, to go on dating, to have very deep friendships as well. And I think that's something was my life was missing before. At least the 4 years before moving to the U.S., I was traveling too much. I was working too much. I had friends, but we barely saw each other. Now I have developed like really good connections while in the
Stable.
US. Yeah.
That's so true. And I totally agree with that because I also have like couple of roommates which were from different countries, and it was pretty good to know the culture because back in India we were just stuck to those people which were around you, but while coming out of the US we come to know that how it is with different cultures and different languages. It is totally different, and I learned a lot about it, and that was pretty shocking to me. But to be go with, how has been dating life going in US than in back in your home country? Gigi.
That's a great question. And we're going kind of deep
Yeah, that was
in our
the
first
question. That's
episode. Like,
so true.
how
That
is
was the question. How is dating life going in US back in India? Like if you compare from your hometown and US.
I would say in the US, it's been a lot of online dating. And with online, I mean dating apps. That's something I was barely familiarized with, and I was a little bit up against. But being here really made me realize that this is the way people connect. Even before COVID and now during a pandemic, it's just the way you can do it because of social distancing. I'm gonna be honest, it kind of sucks sometimes. For me, I feel like when I meet someone through an app, I have a first impression from the app. But then when we get to meet in person, I get another impression, and sometimes it's just like, wow, I've gotten to some disappointment moments because I see some pictures of you, let's say, and then in real life, I figured out the pictures
They're
were from
different.
10 years ago,
Yeah,
you know?
that's so true. That's so
So
true.
you never know what's happening. But I also got good experiences out of it where I got surprised and things just gotten better than expected. So I would say it's a little bit of risk taking, but also you just gotta learn through the process and learn how to identify clues that will make you know if this person has been completely honest or not, or just going step by step. How about you both? I don't know, Flo.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Gigi on this one. Dating life has definitely been more online oriented in the United States than it would be in India. And not going to lie, it's been a good time here in the US, you know. So far, the girls that I've talked to, they've preferred guys who are tall and have dark skin, and that's exactly what I bring to my arsenal, you know. So when it comes to dating life, it's been going good so far. In India, I would be more so approaching them in personal, and I would say there's some differences between dating in India and in the US because there are some cultural restrictions in India which they don't have in the US. So yeah, there's that. What about you guys?
For me, I will agree with you both guys. It has been more of an online stuff than meeting in person, seeing how they are. Sometimes you get fooled by online, but it's been good in years. And I think it's right now during COVID, it's better online than in person. And I'll totally agree with you guys, I guess, in this terms.
Yeah, and well, as a follow-up topic, I want to ask, like, what does dating mean for you right now in your life? Because for me, now when I want to date someone, I just don't want to have fun only. I wanna I wanna make sure at least that we're going somewhere. I am really not looking into just fun and that's it. Maybe one day, yes, but that's not the main goal. So there's a lot of insights, and maybe with age, people also get more clearly what they want and what they don't.
That's true.
So that's a lot of what I'm getting now. I've been dating people who are 30, 31, 32, maybe 27, which is like a year younger than I am. But I think that all of us, are having common that we know what we don't want, but we haven't defined yet what we want. So it's this gray area right now. I don't know I don't know what could you say about it. Like where are you right now in life?
So I'm not a teenager anymore. When I was a teenager, I did have fun, but I'm at the point in my life where I'm definitely trying to see something more serious. I have more time in hand, but I want to put it into good use, not just having fun. And yeah, I'm just at that place right now.
For me, I don't know yet, to be honest. I'm just, I think, getting introduced to it. And yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting introduced to it. And I'm not clear, but I would say I'll go with the flow. I will go with the flow, and let's see what happens in future, because no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. No one knows what's going to happen today night. So I think I'll just go with the flow, meet some new people, get to know them in person, and just see what happens. I don't think, but I'm for sure, if you see on the basis of like dating terms, I would say more like a serious thing, but you never know where you're gonna end up. So I think I'm just exploring about it, I guess.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
That's great. And now with COVID, there's a lot of advices about living the present. So just living today, enjoying today, and not worrying too much about the future. I think that's become very important. Very, very important.
In today's world.
Exactly.
So this might be off topic, but let's talk about wine. What say?
For sure. Go ahead.
Not really a big wine person, but I would choose white wine over red wine simply because it's more classy, in my opinion. And yeah, there really is. I'm not an expert on wine, not gonna lie, but I would choose white wine. But we do have an expert on wine, so handing over to Gigi, the man, the legend, the living legend.
The living legend.
Oh wow! Well, oh wow, you're just triggering my passions.
Wine knowledge.
Exactly,
Wine
exactly.
knowledge.
I'm gonna say I'm not an expert in wine, but I love it. I've loved it, and I've been drinking wine for probably 10 or 11 years. But now I have developed preferences, and I love red wine. My favorite type of wine is Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a dry and a strong red wine. And well, something I have learned is that once you understand your palate, like your food tastes, you will also understand what wine preferences you have. And I am a person who likes eating dark chocolate, like very strong steaks or lamb and black olives. And I like this salty and bitter flavors in my mouth. So for me, this wine, Cabernet Sauvignon, and when it comes to whites, Chardonnay, really makes sense of what things I like. I mean, I like other types, but these are my two favorites. How about you, Patricia?
I won't say I'm a big fan of wine, but to be honest, I think so. I was introduced to wine through you, Like I have tasted before, but not. I don't have that deep knowledge in wine. But I would for sure just go with the red wine and cheese, the classic, the classic red wine and cheese. And I think for the wine I'll go with the red wine. I'm not that an expert about it. I haven't tasted a lot of wine to be honest, but some which you bought and we just tasted it. But for sure, I'll take the wine class. Once I'm 21, I think I'm in senior year, and hopefully, I just have like 3 credits left to complete. I'll probably for sure take the wine class and get to know more about it. The best part is to drink, to drink wine more often and just explore what it is in it. And that's it. But yeah.
It is definitely a culture, and and for all of you who are listening to us, like you might think that these topics have no connection between each other, but what I'm really getting out of these topics is that this is what defines the glassmates from the apartment 173. So we're talking about the topics that join us a lot, you know.
That is what joins us all together.
Yeah. We speak about relationships, sometimes aliens. Yeah, there are way more topics that you're gonna be listening. Probably not today, all of them, but this is really what connects us, and you know, it's all about connections. And while we're speaking, we're sharing a hookah, which is also something that put us together, regardless if we are in our apartment or somewhere else. So, Flo, now that I feel like you have a really good knowledge about the topic, so would you like to keep talking about wine, or would you like to introduce something else? I know there are more.
I think they'd be more interested in hookah right now. So, hookah. Hookah is something that, you know, as Gigi mentioned, brings us together. And hookah is just a beautiful thing, man. It gets you there.
It gets you there.
And
it
slowly gets you there. And when there's music, it's just paradise, man. And, you know, there's no hangover. I think that's the best part about hookah. And tastes good, unlike ciggies. I don't do ciggies, but ciggies don't taste good, you know. They smell bad, no offense. But hookah, you get flavors that you like. And it gets you there, as I said. So that's what I would tell is the best thing about hookah. We have another hookah lover here. Patricio, let's see his opinion.
Please, Patricia.
For sure, I think so. Hookah is one of the beautiful thing we can have, and it's a good place to bond. Like we share hookah together, and probably will have soon. But it's I think so best weekend when you have hookah and assignments, and you all sit together, have hookah and assignments. It's
Somebody
like
else's house.
at somebody else's house. That's true for now, but it's one of the good thing, and it is hookah is love, I guess. Yeah. Well,
Hookah sounds like hookah, but
hookah sounds like hookah, but it's a good thing. And but it's off topic, but okay, go ahead.
Hookah. Hookah. What do I do?
oh, you guys. Oh, he means that you.
Oh, he means okay. But I would ask a question. How was the chai you tasted for the first time today? The classic Indian chai, and how's the Indian food you have been exploring going on?
You introduce another super important topic: food. The three of us are foodies at different capacities. Flo, for example, he's a great cook, but he specializes a lot in Indian food.
Chicken biryani.
Chicken biryani is his major dish,
Appreciate it, guys.
but he also cooks some chicken tandoori as well, some lamb biryani, and ground turkey, which I really liked when I tried it for the first time.
Appreciate your feedback.
Yeah. In my case, I love cooking as well. My cook has developed. When I first arrived, I was more into Italian, German dishes, or a mix of everything, including Panamanian food.
Food is over, I guess.
But now it's a lot of Middle Eastern and now Indian. So Patricio asked me about the chai, and today was my first time trying a real Indian chai, and I really liked it. But it's not only the chai; it's we mixed it with samosas, which is this super delicious pastry and with a chutney, which is make this contrast between spices and sweet. And well, there's a German word I am gonna say, dazu. Dazu means like aside. We had some biscuits and some Oreos, so it was a great breakfast. But you know, we have a great intercultural exchange
It was a brunch.
food in terms of food. So yeah, the floor is yours.
What's your thought on food?
Yeah, I'm a foodie. All of us are foodies. That's one of the many things about Glassmates 173. But yeah, I think one of the many similarities that Gigi and I share are our love for meat, non-vegetarian food. And Gigi, he cooks really good steak. And the best thing is he eats it medium rare, just the way we should. And I really like his steak. And yeah, he cooks good food as well. Fish, steak, you name it. And he really likes Indian food too, so he's blending into the Indian culture. And I'm into the Panamanian, so we're getting there surely. What about you, Patricio? What about your food choices, man?
Probably normal.
Probably it should be normal. So I have been introduced to a lot of new food culture this time, like the pasta, the falafel we had when I just moved in. It was really good. I have never tasted it before, and mostly I think so. I was purely trying vegetarian, but now since I've tasted what Gustavo makes, what I would say Gigi makes, what Flo makes, it's really delicious. But I just have a question for you guys. What do you think a person should be, a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian?
That's a very interesting question.
If I just want to know what are your thoughts on it.
So, as a biology student, somebody who looks at it from an evolutionary perspective, the reason why we're humans is because our ancestors, most probably Homo erectus, it shifted from a vegetarian diet to a non-vegetarian diet, which made our digestive tract smaller, and the increase in protein made our brains grow larger, and hence we're here as a dominant species. And I'm not saying it in an arrogant way, but we are kind of the dominant species right now. So, speaking from an evolutionary perspective, if our ancestors didn't switch from a herbivorous lifestyle to a carnivorous, we wouldn't be where we are. Now, talking about modern lifestyle, I would say you can get the normal protein from vegetarian food, and even the vegetarian foods with high protein, they aren't assimilated by your body the same way that meat is. And me as a meat lover, I'm not being biased, but I'm speaking the truth. I would have to say that non-vegetarian food would have to do better than vegetarian food. But during your old age, you probably have to shift more towards a vegetarian food simply because your body can't digest it like the way it would when you were younger. So that's my opinion, guys.
That's a good point.
That was impressive.
I didn't knew the evolution part.
Yes, you just gave like the biological perspective, which is great. That's something I didn't know. Like I didn't have enough knowledge to debate about it. But something I can tell you about food is that besides that food keeps us alive, it has a lot of emotional component. And I'm gonna bring my psychological perspective.
Go ahead.
The experience when we're born and we get breastfeeding. We're not only receiving food, we're receiving love. We're receiving care, we're receiving protection.
Wow.
So during that first moments in our lives, our brain starts connecting food with many other emotions. And that's why food can be such a sensitive and emotional topic for many people. Not for everyone, but for many people. And we're talking about vegetarians, but I would like to talk about veganism, for example. Being vegan, the people who claim being vegan, they're not doing it because of health reasons only. Sometimes it's because of political reasons or because they feel like the food or meat industry could be or should be working differently and not doing this mass assassination of animals. Exactly. So they are totally not arguing about health, but they are arguing about how countries are operating and not taking care of animals. I cannot be vegan. I am allergic to corn, and when I was allergic to corn, I was also banned from eating gluten and wheat and many things. So most of my diet has been always meat. That's why I eat chicken, pork, steak, all fishes, seafood, duck, turkey. I love eating meat, but I also respect when people have strong opinions about eating differently, because I know that food is not only about keeping us alive. As human beings, we just add this emotional component, but I respect enough to just listen when someone eats differently than how I do it. So, what do you think, Patricia, about all these things?
I think I have changed a lot of perspective since I have been, I think so, in US and in India. I think it has changed a lot, but I respect what people eat. And as Gigi said, it has been one's own, I would say, food diet they respect. But at the same time, we always connected to the emotional part of it, that we just have food as a diet, but it's the love that spread. And I think so that what makes classmate 173. No, that's what I think so make classmate 173 together. We share food together. We sit and eat together. And that's what I think so makes a bond between us. And we cook together. All most of the time we cook together. Or if we are home, if you're not busy in classes and stuff, or just on the campus. But I think so it's one's own perspective how they take it. But for me, I think so both the sides are their own choices. And as I think so Flo said, it won't be we won't be alive if we didn't dominate it and didn't have a carnivorous diet and just have a vegan side of it. And yeah.
This is such a great topic, and we could go deep with that. But Patricio said something that really make us feel connected, and it's the fact that we have found some commonalities within our food tastes. And now the type of meals we make, they're not entirely West Indian or Southern Indian or Latin American or European. No, they're really mixed, really mixed.
We had guacamole. Like today, I made guacamole. I had it as a sandwich, and you had it with tuna, and it was like a mixed food thing. And I think so that makes the diet really good. I guess we shouldn't stick to one food or just one meal plan, like just not Indian food or like Asian food and just some burgers, fries. It's good to sometimes mix the food with the spices and with the meat, with the rice. But if I would say you would have to have just one meal, we don't have Flo right now with us. He'll be back soon though. But to the Gigi, what's one meal if you want to have for the whole life? If you said for the whole life you want one meal, what would it be?
Wow.
What would it be?
Wow, Patricio, you are really making me make decisions.
Take your time and think about it, and then so.
But do you mean it in terms of that's the only meal I am gonna have, or that's a meal that I will always have?
So think like a crisis, and just if you can, if it's an apocalypse and you would only have one meal given to you for the whole life, what would you prefer to have for the whole life? Just one meal. It would be combination of all the meals, but like one good meal for you. What would it be?
Okay, I can answer to that.
Okay.
Maybe the answer won't surprise you or will surprise you. But I will have Zopsi.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, really?
I will have, but let me explain you how.
Okay.
Let me explain
Okay.
you how. I will
Yeah,
have the Zopsi. which in the Indian culture, this is a mix of vegetables.
Exactly.
Cooked with sauce and a lot of spices, and you just evaporate all the sauce, so it's absorbed by the food and the water just evaporates. And that's a zapsi, but it's pretty healthy. But I would have it with chicken. If I have to choose a meal,
that's a good
chicken and
combination.
zapsi, maybe I would eliminate the bread because I haven't been eating too much bread for years. Now I'm eating more, but if I have to decide like one thing for the rest of my life, I'll have the zapsi with chicken. And to be honest, chicken is not my favorite meat, but I will stay with chicken because I will be satisfied enough. I wouldn't choose my favorite, which is steak, because then, and this is how I think, steak is my favorite thing in life to eat.
Okay.
I don't want to get tired of that. I'd rather not have it again, but always keep the illusion of how much I like steak.
Steak, okay.
So when I'm having chicken and zapsi, I was like, wow, this was good, but a steak I know would be better. And I think for human being, or at least for me, having an illusion, having something to dream about is important. So I don't want to have my favorite things in life, because otherwise I would get tired, and I don't want to get tired of what I like the most.
Oh, that's a good answer. So we have Flo back on track, and so this was my question: was imagine if you are under a situation where you have to have a particular meal for your whole life. What would it be? It can be combination of anything, but according to you, what would it be and why?
If it was for the short run, I would say it's steak. But since it's for the long run, I would say chicken breast because it's a healthy option. And as I said before, once you get old, you can't eat unhealthy stuff. Chicken breast, yeah, definitely has to be chicken breast. Maybe some broccoli for fibers and some brown rice. That's what I would do.
I'm laughing because you heard what Flo said. Flo didn't hear what I said,
Yeah, it was the same thing.
but it was the same.
It was you both said the same thing. Like it would be steak for you guys, but for long run it would be chicken.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, with veggies, and I was shocked for that. But that's good.
And it really talks about our values, you know?
Exactly.
Like for us, thinking long-term wise, it's better to keep ourselves stable than just fulfilled with pleasures. For me, the problem with having my favorite meal, which is steak forever, is that I will get tired. And then I wouldn't wish a steak anymore.
Because it won't be your favorite.
Exactly. But eating chicken and zapsi, I will spend my life wishing a steak, and that will make my dreams. You know, that will be the content of my dreams. That will be my reason to be motivated. The illusion of whenever I'm gonna get a steak again. You know. So I don't know. We found some commonalities.
That's so true, and I'm really shocked to hear that because Flo wasn't here when you answered it, and when he came back, he said the same thing, and I was surprised. I never thought about it. It's a really good thing.
What would be your answer, Patricio?
I don't know if I can have one meal for the whole life.
But if you had to.
But if I had to, I'll probably go with okra.
Okra?
Okra. Bindi. Ladyfinger. Yeah, so that's one of the, and it's good.
Yeah, was it okra?
Oh, no, Oprah. Yeah. No, I'll go with okra and probably some rice for sure. Brown rice. I don't think so I'll need chapatis or rotis. I can go with the bread with it. And probably some buttermilk or milk. I don't think so I'll have it in the dinner, but for a long run, I'll have milk side, like a buttermilk or something on the side to have a good diet. But yeah, I think so. That'll be all.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I hope you guys are liking our podcast. This podcast was more about who we are, but we're gonna keep having more conversations about different topics. So I hope you stay connected.
And before going, if you want to say last two lines to the viewers or to the listeners, I will probably say like last two lines for the first podcast I think so, we just did it. It was random and it was good, I guess. But what would be the two wise lines which you would give to anyone if you met for the first time? We'll go with Gigi. Okay, we'll go with the flow.
Two lines I would say to any young man would be hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Wow,
Wow,
That
you
was-
have the script.
that was fast and really deep.
Yeah, for me, two lines I would tell someone is get to know yourself, but don't rush. Don't rush it. Spend enough time reflecting on what you like, what you don't like, and what's the meaning behind it. I think knowing yourself is a powerful weapon that you can use for whatever you want to do next.
And I will agree with both of you guys, and I'll add to that things. I was like, just be who you are, I guess. Just be who you are, and I think so. Just give a thought what you're doing, and if that makes you happy, that's all at the end that matters. If you are happy at what you are, and stay connected. I think our second podcast will be coming soon, but in a good better manner.
And Flo, I'm sorry for what I'm gonna do,
Okay.
but this podcast was legend, and you're
Wait
gonna
for
wait
it.
for it. Dairy.
What was that?
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we gotta end every time, for sure.
Alright, guys, thanks for tuning in and staying here. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace out, keep it real.